those 31 years, and the Carrie J. Babb Center, how lives have changed and affected and impacted. And it's a remarkable story. They come from miles and miles around to get treatment from some of the greatest doctors in this area, really in the country and maybe the world. And to be part of that, and to know the story, and to know that this remarkable story, Mr. Babb and his wife, really have run the Babb Center and the hospital for parts of really over the course of 4 different decades. They've really made the use of their time probably better than any hospital I can ever think of in the country. It's a great story. We're gonna hear the story of one woman, Ms. Fairchild, who was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and literally this week she came back with a clean bill of health, and that's remarkable too. 3 million breast cancer survivors in the United States, and the numbers are growing every time, but it's because of hospitals and efforts like this that give people encouragement and hope, and ultimately, they have a tendency to, they have a tradition, I should say, of ringing the bell when treatment is over, radiation treatment at the center. We hope the bell will be rung someday for cancer to be ended in not being a broadcaster. And that's why I wanted the message tonight to tell those stories. I'm going to tell stories. I'm also going to make people laugh, I hope, a lot, and entertain them. I have a little bit of Las Vegas in me. But I also like to think that I will also be inspiring and move people. There will be people crying tonight and the people laughing in the same place, just like they said in Jerry Maguire, he only makes them cry. But in answer to your question, I try to do a little of everything. And I knew from a very young age that I wanted to do that. I wanted to touch a chord. Three very close friends of mine have cancer. 2 women, one my best friend growing up, male. He had throat cancer. He's in remission. My 2 best friends have breast cancer. My mother passed away from breast cancer. 2 out of every 3 people in their lifetime will be impacted by cancer. They'll get cancer in their life. And obviously the push is to not just treat and control, but to cure. And the good news is, having done all the research and prepared for this evening, most cancers are curable. I knew Jim Valvano, for example, very well. The basketball coach, the famous "Don't give up, don't ever give up," Jimmy V fund, all that stuff. He lost his life to cancer, but he battled it. And I knew him very well. And he was one of the first people who inspired me in broadcasting to not just interview ball players, but interview people about their passions and their hopes and their aspirations and their inspirations. And he certainly was that. And he told me something that, live every day, learn to laugh and learn to cry if you can every single day. It's a great way to live your life, to live it fully. And I was part of the Valvano Foundation, still am really, for parts of 3 different